There are a few scary planets in our universe that you do not know about. Some of them are cold worlds with no chance of life ever growing or living there. However, among this dark diversity, some objects can be separated from the rest, which may be called the most dangerous exoplanets ever discovered, which we are going to discuss in this video. Before Halloween in 2020, NASA compiled a list of the most horrifying worlds, which included about 6 exoplanets. Each of these planets' environments is not just harsh for any living organism, even finding oneself comparatively close to their location may be dangerous. The first object we would take a look into is a black gas giant designated TRES-2b. This celestial object orbits itself around a star, which is seen as a yellow dwarf as far as 718 light-years away from us. Now, due to some special properties of the chemical composition of the surface of TRES-2b, the planet absorbs more than 99% of all light that sheds on it. The nature of its properties remain a mystery, and there are chances that there are some chemical reactions taking place on the surface that have never been taking place on similar objects before. These properties make TRES-2b the darkest exoplanet on the astronomical map today. This gas giant was discovered on the 21st of August 2006, with more details on its features obtained years later. The mass of the planet TRES-2b is 1.2 of Jupiter's mass, and its radius measures 1.27 times that of Jupiter. The atmosphere is as hot as 1000 degrees Celsius, which gives this exoplanet a red glow. Still, even with its gloomy looks, TRES-2b is not the most dangerous place to be in the universe. There are many more planets that are more terrifying than that. Another exoplanet is designated as 55 Cancri-e. This object was discovered on the 30th of August 2004 by the Doppler spectroscopy method. Let's dig more into this planet. The planet's mass is equal to approximately 8 times Earth's mass, and its radius measures 1.875 that of Earth. 55 Cancri-e is tidally locked, and that is why it is daytime on one side of the planet and nighttime on the other. This is also why the side facing their star is always heated up to the temperatures reaching 2400 degrees Celsius, with the temperatures on the night side being 1300 degrees Celsius. The values of these temperatures are so high because the distance between the planet and its parallel star is 0.0183 astronomical unit, and also volcanism on 55 Cancri-e, which is assumed is likely to be there, causing dust cloud emission. These clouds trap heat and prevent it from escaping into space. The planet's orbital period is slightly under 18 hours. For their astronomical makeup, it consists of hydrogen and helium. There are also large amounts of carbon registered in it. This element is very much likely to form layers of graphite and diamonds in its planet's interior. Also, 55 Cancri-e isn't the only planet orbiting around its host star. There are 4 other celestial objects orbiting around it. The environment on these planets is more hospitable, which is one characteristic of 55 Cancri-e differs from the following objects. First, we have the dubbed poltergeist, or PSR B1257 plus 12c. This exoplanet lies in the pulsar system. The celestial object is located at 0.36 astronomical units from the system center. This shows that the poltergeist would have not survived the supernova that probably took place before the pulsar had been formed. The exoplanet is likely to have formed due to this event, with the material for it coming from the nebula left after the explosion. Also, according to another hypothesis, the pulsar may have formed after the coming together of 2 white dwarfs. Unlike a supernova, this process isn't always followed by a huge blast. Because this is the first object of its kind ever discovered, science cannot give a correct answer on its origination. The system with the celestial object lays 300 light-years from the Earth. Its mass is approximately 4 times that of Earth. For its orbital period, it is around 66 days. The powerful radiation that is emitted by the pulsar is enough to destroy any spaceship approaching the planet in its system. Even with the properties, the poltergeist isn't even the most dangerous planet in the universe. When approaching it, its astronomical body could be destroyed, but it would get vaporized in close proximity to the following object. The reason for this effect is because of the high temperature on Kepler-70b, which is the hottest exoplanet known. The object orbits around the dwarf star Kepler-70 with a surface temperature higher than that of our Sun, that reaches about 6800 degrees Celsius. The object's mass equals 0.44 that of the Earth's mass, with its radius measuring 0.67 that of the Earth's. The object's orbit is 345 minutes. which means a day on this planet is less than 6 hours long. An interesting fact about this exoplanet is, it regularly passes another object in the system, Kepler-70c, at a distance of 240,000 kilometers. This is the closest that planets in space have ever been able to pass each other. One reason for the high temperature on Kepler-70b is that the object may have been a part of its parent star. Also, it is important to note that Kepler-70b is not the only planet that interacts with its planet star so closely. Another object with similar conditions is the exoplanet known as WASP-12b. This planet lies 870 light-years away from our system. Its radius measures 1.93 times that of Jupiter, and its mass equals 1.46 of Jupiter's mass. WASP-12b is 0.03 astronomical units away from its parent star. Due to this closeness, its exoplanet has a temperature as much as 2200 degrees Celsius. The host star's strong gravitation slowly absorbs the planet. Eventually, in about 10 million years' time, this planet is expected to be destroyed completely. With this information to consider, we would not look deeply into this planet. It is also known that these types of worlds are not usually high priorities for scientists. However, some of these objects have some unique features that may seem normal. Worlds like this may be more dangerous than they may seem. For example, when flying past the exoplanet HD 189733b, one may think that it's a safe planet because it looks like Earth. But if someone were to get closer to this planet, you would be exposed to some life-threatening dangers. Firstly, the planet's wind carries particles of silicate and develops velocities of 8,700 kilometers per hour. Also, the rain on this planet causes the precipitation of molten glass. The reason for these dangerous weather conditions is extremely high temperatures and the atmosphere's strange chemical composition. Also, talking about the planet's orbital period, it is approximately 2.5 days. It is also likely that this planet is very close to its parent star. Now, let's look at some characteristics of the exoplanet HD 189733b. This object is a blue gas giant orbiting an orange dwarf star in the constellation Vulpecula. It also lies just 63 light-years away from our system. The object's diameter is 1.1 times that of Jupiter, and for its mass, it is 113 that of Jupiter. One interesting thing to note about this exoplanet is, the distance between HD 189733b and its parent star is 30 times less than the distance between the Earth and the Sun, and it is equal to approximately 5 million kilometers. Due to its closeness to its parent star, it has a surface temperature of about 930 degrees Celsius on the day side, with the temperature on the night side never really dropping below 425 degrees Celsius. After being discovered, the celestial body became an important investigation. In 2007, with the credit going to the data obtained from the Hubble telescope, scientists found out that this planet has a foggy atmosphere. When the planet moves between the observer on Earth and its star, it gives a reddish hue. This change in color may be due to the haze in the atmosphere. According to preliminary estimates, it is made up of the particles of iron, silicates, and aluminium oxide. Apart from that, the data obtained from the Hubble telescope helped scientists discover that the atmosphere contains water vapor, neutral oxygen, and an organic methane compound. More investigations show that the presence of carbon monoxide on the day side of the planet. What brought more questions was the results of the investigation showing traces of methane of an unusual mixture in the object's atmosphere. This chemical element was seen to be in a different fluorescent state when it hits electromagnetic radiation in the infrared range. This substance is indicative of some unknown activity in the atmosphere of the planet, which still remains to be found. This is a clear example of a situation when investigating an exoplanet with a very harsh environment, which may show unexpected results about some processes taking place there, which would be an important contribution to science. While studying these worlds, they will forever be a horror to us and serve as a reminder of how grateful we are to be dwellers on Earth. If you would like to hear more about these types of world and astronomy in general, please hit the subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this video, give it some thumbs up.